What's going on, YouTube? This is Overland Ops. My name is Jeff, and on this week's episode, I'm going to be exploring some of the most remote mountainous areas in New Mexico and Arizona, so stay tuned. I think I got a pretty good spot here in the Gila. I'm at 7,500 feet and there's nobody around. I'm camped at an area called Sheep Corral Canyon, and there's some evidence humans being here. There's a lot of fences and stuff that look like they're pretty old. So I guess at one point they did herd sheep up here. There was a fire in this area in 2010. This area's been picked pretty clean of firewood, and anything that's still on the ground that was dead has pretty much been eaten up by termites. But I did collect a little bit of firewood. I'm gonna have a fire tonight. By the way, if you're ever trying to buy firewood in Silver City, just don't. They don't have firewood. Not a stick to be found. This spot's a lot better than last night, where I kind of apparently made a fool of myself without knowing. So I, as always, underestimate the travel time and it's going to take. So I went from El Paso to Silver City. Ended up getting into a camp spot really late. So I saw an established campground called Cherry Creek Campground. Drive in, there are campers and trailers and RVs everywhere. And I'm like, oh man, there's no spots open. Driving out and I see off in the distance, I see a fire pit that somebody had built up with stones, and I was like, oh cool, a spot. So I pull up there real quick and set up camp and cook dinner and go to sleep. So the next morning, I wake up, I cook a breakfast, cook a nice delicious ham steak that was kind of questionable, and a clumsy omelet, and I'm cleaning up, and these two older ladies are like, I can hear them behind the Jeep, and they're like, he's parked on our trail. And I was like look around, and I quickly realized that there's a trail leading out of the back of my camp area. And I was like, oh. Apologized to them and was like, I'm gonna clean up. I'm so sorry I got here super late last night. And they were like, oh, it's okay. They just walked through my camp. I was like, sorry. Pack everything up, throw it in the Jeep, because it's a pet peeve of mine that when you're out here, you shouldn't be camping or doing anything like littering, anything. You should, be conscious of what you're doing. I wasn't, and I threw everything in the camp and was like, oh, if a Forest Service person or a ranger comes by, I'm gonna get a ticket, and I really don't want one of those. So like, I finished zipping up the cover on the tent. The Forest Service person comes to, I guess, clean the bathrooms, and I'm like rolling down the hill, and she's driving up, and she looks at me and she's like, that car is not supposed to be there. And I was like, okay, bye. And I just like drove really, really fast away. And I bet everybody in that camp was just like, hey, who's that idiot over there camped in the spot where he's not supposed to be? Yeah, I screwed up. Not the first time, won't be the last. I'm gonna try never to camp on a trailhead ever again. So tonight, I'm cooking one of my favorite meals, spicy potatoes. I got the potatoes cooking right now. I'm gonna use some Texas smokehouse sausage, pork and beef. Gotta have the mixture. I like a little variety in my spicy potatoes. And a jalapeno pepper. Yeah, that's right. These are gonna be cheesy spicy potatoes. And the cheese is double pepper. Monterey Jack with jalapeno and habanero. So I'm gonna feast. I hope it doesn't rain, but we'll see. I think the forecast changed. Last night it was kind of threatening rain, and there's more storm clouds rolling in, and because this area's got a lot of fire damage, it could be prone to washouts. And I crossed a couple of creeks on my way in. I feel like if it's gonna rain, I'm gonna head back kind of towards civilization. came over this ridge and there was 2 massive elk. They just like looked at me like, oh no, a human, and then ran up that hill, and I couldn't grab the camera quick enough. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Well, I'm calling this home for this evening. I'm in Apache National Forest, right outside of Luna, New Mexico. And I'm actually right on the border of New Mexico and Arizona. I'm right off of a Forest Service road. So I'm just gonna cook a quick dinner, maybe start a fire and listen to an audiobook. For it being a completely random spot, it's actually pretty nice. Right over here behind my camp is the San Francisco River. And I got some rolling mountains that are covered in trees in the background. So, but I'm not gonna stay here for more than one night because I'm like right next to the road. The sun was getting pretty low. I just figured it'd be best if I found a camp. And this will do.
He stood numbly for a few seconds, glancing at the houses up ahead and the blue lights flashing behind him.
Whew, guys, my jet boil just exploded into a fireball. Like, it shot up around the sides. I don't know what's wrong with the vent, but there's pine needles everywhere, so it immediately started. Whew, that was a close one. Yeah, I mean, this is all that is the aftermath. Now I have a broken jet boil. Fell over as soon as I started putting water on it, lighting the pine needles on fire. So I'm like chasing it around, it's rolling on its side, catching everything on fire, and I just started like kicking it with my boot. And the propane tank separated from the base. It's broken now, so I won't be able to use a jet boil, but that's okay. At least I didn't just burn down the entire forest. I've always taken pretty good care of it. I mean, I don't know if it was the jet boil itself or that propane tank, but man, I'm like shaking up. Is like the way to turn off the propane is attached, of course, to the jet boil. You can't just like stick your hand into a flaming ball of fire. It looked just like that. Like, it looked like the campfire. That's how big of a flame it was shooting up. Yeah. I'm just really glad the entire propane tank didn't blow up. That was what I was like, oh, it's a bomb. You know, I was like, one part of me was like, run away, and the other part was like, oh no, everything's on fire. So, disaster averted. Man, I'm starving. Alright, I'm gonna turn this off and pull out all of my cooking gear. I decided I don't like this spot. Camp tonight is this beautiful plateau that I'm on top of. All in all though, pretty great day. Weather's been spectacular. 70s, very, very low humidity. I got this wonderful view of these mountains. So that big mountain right over there, that's Escadilla Mountain. And that whole area around it's known as the Escadilla Wilderness. And I was looking about like driving around through there, but I bet the roads are probably in pretty bad shape. The terrain up here is very soft. It's very dry. I am noticing some lightning and some storm clouds off in the distance. Really hoping that doesn't come over here. And if it does, I'm really hoping it doesn't rain too hard. The way this ground is, if it gets too much rain on it, this will just all become a really muddy mess. Realizing that my ready light, which I use all the time, isn't charging. When I was at San Angelo State Park, my big Jackery solar panel blew off of a picnic table in a gust of wind, and since that point that hasn't been charging either. Yeah, my gear is just kind of breaking down, man. We had the jet boil incident, we had the zipper. It's just a little disheartening, you know. You invest in gear, and I'm not blaming the jet boil thing. I mean, that's like 5 years old, so things get worn out, I understand that, but some of this stuff, like the Ready Light, I've only had maybe a year. The smell of my leftover spiced potatoes is delicious. I can't wait. Let's take a look over here, see what we got going on. Oh yeah, that's right. Woo! Yelling at me. So that's gonna be good. I'm not gonna let it get me down. Another good thing that did happen tonight, after I just said that all those storm clouds were rolling in, massive gusts of wind up to 22 miles an hour. I looked it up because I have service at this spot, making it even better. Started blowing this way and pushed all those clouds back where they came from. Adios, amigos. Adios. So, it's not all bad. I just want my gear to work when it needs to work, and I rely on it pretty heavily.
I don't think those city girls are right for me. I don't fall for shallow pleasantries, and the conversation's not.
Good morning. Look very haggard. If you're wondering why I'm always wearing a hat in these videos, you know why. My hair's pretty greasy. I found a cool spot that has showers because it's that time I need a shower. So this place that I'm going to is called Big Lake, Arizona. It's apparently a pretty popular spot. So instead of driving all the way around that mountain range, I'm going to pick my way through it on these Forest Service roads, see if I can get through. That didn't work out. That's 2 locked gates. was gonna do a drive-by shot. It's too windy. It'll knock over the tripod. I'm at 9,253 feet. Awesome view. I just got stopped in the middle of this highway by a cop, sheriff for the area. Apparently this whole area that I'm in is closed right now. He was like, where are you headed? I said, Big Lake. He said, you pass a road closed sign? I was like, no sir. I came in on a forest road over here and it was open the whole way. And he said, just don't get stuck anywhere. He's tired of writing tickets for people off-roading. I was like, okay, should I go back? And he was like, no. He was like, but if you see a game warden stop you, you better be ready to get a ticket. I'm like, a ticket? I had no idea it was closed. So, I mean, I'm gonna explain where I came from, how I got to this point, and yeah, man, whatever, gonna write me a ticket. You'll have to come to Texas to get me. Yeah, now I understand what he meant by it's closed. All the campgrounds are closed. I didn't realize that they weren't open yet for the season, but he thought I had driven past a road closed sign is what he meant, which I passed on my way in here. So right at the entrance, there's a road closed sign that has the highway that goes past the entrance to this place. I used a Forest Service road that was completely open and it popped out on a closed highway and I was coming the opposite direction. He thought I was breaking the law. And he made it pretty clear he was the nice one out here. Apparently there's a game warden running around that I don't want to run into. So my plan, I guess, is not gonna work because they're closed and I don't want to be anywhere I'm not supposed to be. I don't want a ticket and I don't want to cause any problems. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. I'm also gonna have to go back, figure out how to get out of here. I guess if I just go back down that highway, but I don't know where that goes. I think it goes back to Alpine. Anyway, I gotta figure this out. I'll update later. I don't really have any internet, and all the places I need to go are down there. Obviously, I can't go that way because the road is closed. This has been an interesting day, and I don't know where this road goes. It's the only direction I'm allowed to travel. It's 4 in the afternoon, and I'm just now passing the area that I camped in last night. Oh my goodness. What is this thing? Something huge is coming. Oversized load. Oversized load. Oh, it's a trailer. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Jeez. Somebody's gonna get them a mobile home delivered. Oh no, it's the other half. It's a double wide, y'all. Dude, this road is way too windy for this. All right, buddy. Yep, come on. Jeez. I'm just gonna keep pushing on to Sholo area, see if I can find a campsite around there. Found a pretty great spot tonight. This is actually a spot I've camped in before. I did try a few off-road trails, and they went back for a little ways. I didn't see any like turnoffs with fire rings, and eventually I only went down 2, but there was a road closed gate that was locked for the season, I'm guessing. So I got this spot now. I'm not upset about it. It's a nice spot. Got a pretty beautiful view. Over here is Marshall Lake, and in the background you can see Mount Humphrey, which is I believe the highest point in the state of Arizona. Getting camp set up, and tonight for dinner I'm cooking mushroom Swiss bison burgers. I'd like to talk to y'all about something that's made my life a whole lot easier out here on the trail, and this is the heavy duty roll top table by Mountain Summit Gear. I picked this up at REI and it cost about $100. For the price point, I think this is an extremely well made piece of gear, and it is made out of very high quality materials. I have found that the texturized powder coating is a little slick, so make sure none of your items fall off the table. The overall design of this table was very well thought out, and the way that the roll top attaches to the legs are these simple pull tabs right here. The way to engage the lock is to simply pull this tab back and ensure that the pin lines up with the hole. That's not going anywhere. To disassemble the table, all you have to do is pull both pins and lift the plate and continue in a rolling motion. Once you get to the other side, simply pull the other 2 pins and it's ready to be put in the bag. The way that the plates are held together are these dual bungee cords on both sides of the table. The only complaint I have with this table is the sheer size and weight of storing it in my already overcrowded Jeep. But my one complaint out in the woods is always not having enough flat storage space or any sort of table that I can have. So I think that the benefits far outweigh the troubles of stowing it and getting it out and setting it up. To take the legs apart, all you have to do is pull the 2 sides up out of the retaining pins and lower it, and it folds up just like a camping chair. The worst part about putting this table back up is that there is a divider in the bag that they provide, and this allows for 2 compartments, one for the roll top and one for the legs. And it is a little tedious trying to finagle that back down into the proper compartment, but with some effort it shouldn't be too difficult. The reason that they do this is to ensure that everything is snug, and it cuts down on rattling when you have it stowed in your luggage compartment. So if y'all are looking to do a lot of off-grid, dispersed camping and need a table, I would highly suggest checking out this table by Mountain Summit Gear. Again, I'm not sponsored by them, but if they're watching, I am taking offers. Well, folks, this is where I'm going to end this episode. And I was sitting around the campfire last night, and I realized that in the last year, I've spent 5 months on the road. I think when it's in your head, there's kind of a romantic Kerouacian sense that you get, but when you're actually out here doing it, you realize that it's a hard way of living. It's a hard life, but it's very fulfilling. In a year where I feel like so many people have been forced to put their lives on hold, I feel like I actually got out there and was able to accomplish something You know, even if it was just driving around, seeing new places that I've never been, visiting some places that I have been, making memories that I'll have for the rest of my life. So I think it's been a good experience, and if this journey was to end tomorrow, I wouldn't be sad about it. Guys, as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're a first-time watcher, consider becoming a subscriber. Let me know that you're out there. Other than that, I'm just gonna enjoy this view for the rest of the day. I'll catch you all down the trail.